Good Friday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV, the internal combustion engine age YouTube channel that talks about all my cars and trucks and SUVs and dogs and motorcycles, addictions, the weather, yeah, all that good stuff. Here's my older sticker. If you want a new sticker, where's my new sticker? I don't even have any on my cars here. Anyways, good morning there. I gotta fix that, don't I? I gotta get some more stickers on my own cars. What is wrong with me? Yeah, good morning there. Thanks for tuning in. If you're a new subscriber or you're just a regular viewer, that's cool. I like it. And yeah, wow, got a package on the gate up here. Wonder what that is. Should probably go up there and try to get that. And yeah, so just distractions. Oh wow, in the field over there. Wow, cooler day. Not real cold, but definitely a windier day today. Overcast, kind of that fall weather. You can see the trees are starting to kind of change, and we got these winds, as you know. Mother Nature starts to come in and take the leaves off the trees. And how does she accomplish that? Well, it needs some wind. So Mother Nature starts shaking these trees down so that you have a nice lawn project, which is raking leaves or blowing leaves or whatever it may be. So, and that's a fixed problem. And that's what I thought this morning was, what do we talk about today? I mean, what do we talk about on the morning conversations? Well, here is the Ford Tremor F-250. I just love this truck. I just love how I ripped off the original steps and I put those retractable e-board steps on from Rough Country, and I just love this truck. It is so much fun, and I think it looks really cool. I think it looks cool for a guy that's progressing in life. And yeah, if people watch my channel, I'm sure you know that I finally fixed the kids' addiction to having a two-stroke bike. And that's what I have to think this morning is, how about we use the word fix? Hey, Willow! Willow! And here's Willow, my dog. Willow! He's fixated on who knows what. But yeah, so I think, fixed the kids' addiction to another addiction of addictions, right? You know, how do you do that? When you've got a daughter that is exposed to all the goodies that daddy likes, yeah, I wonder why she's, a motorhead, right? But you know what? I can honestly tell you, some people would tell you that even though they're the motorhead, their kid isn't so much. I mean, I hear these conversations a lot that from a parent, that even the boys, I'll hear a father say, like, my son, he just doesn't want to ride motorcycles. He's not really into these car thing. And it's pretty incredible. Because for me, I'd be like, wow, what did I do? So, but anyways, the fix, if you're watching my channel, yesterday it was all about seeing if I could fix the kid's addiction by getting her finally a two-stroke motorcycle that she's been dying to have. And I got to tell you what, I know everybody here goes out and tries to make things work out and buy things, sell things, whatever it may be. But you sometimes feel like, did you actually fix the problem, or did you get the fixing to make it right? And this bike is so much fun. The daughter absolutely loves it. She loves the way it sounds. It's so much lighter than that CRF 300L. It's fast. And we made some video yesterday of us riding around, but never got published. It just got to be too long a day yesterday for me. My daughter was so bummed because she's like, Dad, didn't you post these videos of us riding? And I'm like, well, yikes. At 9 o'clock last night, I'm like, gee, I forgot to get that part in there. Just a lot of video time. And so you probably see a hat and my Indian, shirt here. And I've been wearing the Indian all week as I've been talking throughout the week we had the no conversations, the yes conversations, the on-off conversations, thanks to R. Sanchez, one of my subscribers, recommending that conversation. Then yesterday we had the forecast conversation, and today I thought we'll have the fixed conversation. So I thought it's very appropriate, because if you're watching my channel, you know I've got a problem. You know that I've got a brand new Indian Pursuit 2023 that has a steering front end wobble in it, and people are trying to figure out what's wrong with it and what's going to happen. So the latest update on that is they took those instructions from Indian. I even showed you that paragraph, that paperwork, that it gave the dealer specific instructions on what to do. We'll take this Indian Challenger. It's so weird. The Indian Challenger is the exact same motorcycle as the Pursuit. It's the exact same bike. It just doesn't have the lowers or the Tour Pack. It's the exact same motorcycle. And so anyways, they took and put a new tire on the motorcycle. They've already done that. They checked the steering head. They checked the, all the things are properly secured and tightened and whatever else. Calibration. That's a good question here is, I wonder if this bike has that as well. What they're saying, it's really weird. They're claiming that if you don't have your passenger or your rider settings correct, this is just really, because I have so many nice motorcycles, and I've never experienced this in any of my motorcycles. Honda Goldwings, BMWs. I've had so many really nice motorcycles in my life, and I'm just befuddled that, okay, so this is, what they're saying here is, they're saying that if I don't have this setting, so if I show I have 2 riders, and I have too much luggage, and I have a +1 here, their claim is this motorcycle is going to have a steering wheel wobble. That if I don't actually have all the luggage and the passenger, and there's a fine tune here, and so this is crazy. So this motorcycle here, I have it like this, I have it like this, and I have it like this. And that's the exact same setting that I have my Indian Pursuit. But they're trying to claim that these settings here can dramatically change the way the motorcycle handles. And wow, that the front end could actually wobble. Wow. Okay, well, all right. So update, they did all that work yesterday. And at the end of doing all that work, it still wobbles. Actually, what the rider claims is that when the bike deaccelerates, when he's slowing down, it's even more dangerous. What? So now, here's the next. This is where it gets very aggravating for me. I truly just want to call Indian and say, look, I want a slingshot Roush edition. Can you just trade out the numbers? Because they're within reason of the money spent. Let's just flip notes for notes. Because I have a note on that motorcycle with Performance Finance, and they won't do a deal on the Roush Slingshot because that I have too many notes with them at one time. So my attitude is, okay, let's do this. Let's get rid of the Pursuit and let's exchange it for a nice Roush edition Slingshot. How about that idea? And I don't want to deal with this because it's now you do this, you do that. So now the owner of the dealership, John, has instructed Pete, the service guy, who's instructing his mechanic, is they've got a brand new Indian Pursuit. That's a black Dark Horse edition with the premium package. Exact same bike. I saw it the other day and I was down there. They're going to put that whole bike together today. That's the goal. They've got more than things to work on than me, so it kind of gets crazy. So hopefully before the day's out, they're going to put that motorcycle together. Then they're going to ride that motorcycle, and they're going to see if it has any issues. And if it doesn't, then they're going to take that front wheel and tire off that motorcycle and put it on my motorcycle. Okay, all right. So, but part of me is like, just take the front wheel off that motorcycle and put it on my bike and see if it resolves the problem. But more so for me, I want to see if that bike has a problem. Because if it has a problem, then I'm really going to get into it with Indian, where I'm be saying, look, every bike you're shipping has an issue. You haven't put a stop sale on this motorcycle. You should have put a stop sale on this motorcycle. Because on the forum, Indian Motorcycles Net forum, there are numerous stories in that forum of people having the same problem. And I'm going to tell you what, I so truly believe that nobody's fixed this problem. That people are just now accepting the bike to be as good as it could be. Because one gentleman on there, his claim is that he now has 45 PSI tire pressure on the front of the bike. The front of the bike's supposed to be 36. So the dealership has now overinflated his tires to try to fix the problem. I'm thinking to myself, wow, this is a guy that's trying to put the square peg into the round hole and starts pounding the hell out of it to fix it. Wow, to me, this is not acceptable. So I've read, I mean, even other people in the Indian forum are like, wow. So you're now cold tire pressures have running 45 psi on a tire in your front bike that could vary it, could be 3 to 5 pounds more once it gets hot. I mean, what is going on? So that's the fix. But here's the point. I truly believe that most of these Indian Pursuit owners have not fixed the problem. They're just at the point where the bike isn't going to crash. They still, and that's what I read through these conversations. So I still feel a little bit of wobble, but it's not that radical. Are you kidding me? So here's the point that I'm trying to emphasize this morning is Indian Motorcycle should have put a stop sale to fix this problem. They should have put a stop sale on all these Indian Pursuits. And they're very rough. I mean, I'm going to be very blunt with Indian. I'm going to be like, look, you've got a problem. Do we need to call the NHTSA? Do we need to get them involved? That you're selling motorcycles that are borderline extremely dangerous? I told my daughter yesterday, could you even imagine me going on the road and that front end, that steering wheel just takes a hard left on me when it starts wobbling, or right, and I come off the bike? I've crashed off my own bike just from a stupid imperfection design of Indian. So anyways, I've done talking here. I'm wearing the Indian stuff this week. Maybe the energy of the Indians, all the Indians. So I'm a proactive Indian guy, but I don't know. I may be turning the corner. They really will. We'll see how Indian handles this Indian Pursuit thing. And if they don't handle it correctly, I'm getting rid of this thing. I'm getting rid of all my Indian stuff. I'm like, I'm out. No way. Ridiculous. And once again, Harley to me has fixed my love for the Harley. I really love the Harley. I told my daughter last night, if anybody was to come to me, and I told my daughter last night, she's very young, and I think sometimes she gets frustrated at me buying things. You may not believe that, but in some aspects, she's sometimes like, I just don't really want to ride that. I'm like, but you don't understand. You're very young in life, and you're getting an opportunity to ride and drive so many things in your life that nobody else is going to probably have that. And I shouldn't say nobody, but a majority of other young women in this world aren't going to have access to that. You are getting exposed to what you now understand is good and okay and bad. And so if like her, she's just all over Honda, or I should say it's KTM. We traded the Honda CRF 300L for this KTM. And she, in so many ways, like, I just didn't really like that bike. I'm like, yeah, but you forgot. That was your training wheels for your road manners for you to go ride up on the road. Was bought purposely for me to start putting her on the back roads to learn how to ride street. That was a great bike for her beginnings. It was never a bike I thought would be a great dirt bike. But she's like, okay, well, I understand that now. But now she understands a huge difference on a stroke motor, an enduro bike, to an all-out two-stroke bike that's more nimble, lighter, and just a blast. And she really is just loving this. She just loves it. Here she has the Dodge Challenger Scat Pack, right? Out here, if you walk outside my door here again with me as I walk back and forth in circles, she's got a Ford Mustang over here that she drives. She's got the Ram truck she's driven. She's got the Ford F450 over here she's driven. She's had the Broncos to drive. She has the Jeep Gladiator over here to drive. So she's able to she's driven the F-150 Lightning truck and the Ford Mach-E Mustang and my Hellcats. So she's been able to put her fanny and the seat of so many different vehicles where she has an opportunity. And that's what I told her last night is like, you have so much more knowledge than you even realize. Because last night we got in discussion about the Indian motorcycles, and I was telling her on how I think Harley has done a better job on the lowrider motorcycle. And she's like, right. And I said, for you, like, if somebody came up to you and said, hey, what do I buy? Do I buy the Indian Sport Chief, or do I buy the Harley Davidson Lowrider S? And so instantly she was like, well, the Harley's like a lot more money. I'm like, it's not. You're thinking about your Lowrider ST, which has the bags and the front fairing. So yes, it is like $3,000-$4,000 more. But the regular Lowrider S has that small front fairing, no bags. It's priced right at the exact same price as the Indian Sport Chief. So I said, what would you tell somebody? She's like, oh, I told them all day long to buy the Harley. She's like, I didn't like the Indian Sport Chief. And for me, the same thing. If somebody came to me right now and said, hey, Lowrider S or Sport Chief, I'd be like, Harley. That 117 motor on that badass bike, it's just a better fit. It's just, all day long. So how do you fix that conversation, right? There's so many people out there that are the car. We all have a fix on something, meaning we're all drawn into, we just favor one brand over another brand, or we tend to favor one style motorcycle versus another style motorcycle. And so, but here's the fix. So for this Mustang here, the daughter in so many ways thinks it's lame because of the way it sounds. So I got to fix that, right? I'm drinking my coffee. I got my coffee in me. So I've got a fix. I yesterday received the fix. Here it is over here. I got a big box over here. This is the Roush rear exhaust that will be put on that car next week. I have upstairs a H-pipe to be installed in the middle of this car to give this car more of an exhaust note that I think my kids really gonna like. I've got what I think is a little more fun shifter. I got a short throw shifter from Steeda that's supposed to come in like today or tomorrow, where I'm gonna have the dealership change out that shifting style where it's a shorter throw shift. I think that'll be pretty cool. I have ordered the all-around springs to give this car, new coil springs, a lower profile, and I have ordered the rear brace bracket and the front brace bracket to hopefully give this car more of a even badder ass feel, look, sound of the car. So I think when it's all said and done with this car, I think that my daughter is going to be fixated on this. I think I'm going to fix her I like my white one more than I like your blue one. I think that's going to change. And I think all of a sudden, I've talked about it numerous times here recently, that's going to make it so for me, that car there can be used to buy my future Ford Mustang Dark Horse. And that's because I really want that. Actually, really great video. A really good video came in yesterday. Let's kind of get upstairs here and get the morning going. Yeah, the fix, right? It's all about the fix conversations. And what are we going to fix today, right? And then in life, are you Mr. Fix-It? That's a well-known phrase. Look at the dogs here. I mean, good Lord. That's a well-known phrase for the marriage. If you're Mr. Fix-It, where you're constantly, I'm trying to get water out of here to curate my office to have some water, need some water. But anyways, come on, Pops, let's get up here. Yeah, if you're a married man, it can even be a lady. I mean, anymore, but the saying is that you're Mr. Fix-It. And that's a huge challenge in relationships because, hey, Pups, how you doing? We don't really need the heat today. It's pretty decent out. Old, yeah, I like this really close. Let me get all my stuff set down here. And I'll drop my coffee, get the morning going. So yeah, the challenge in marriage, they say in the man-woman relationship, wish anymore, could be the man-man relationship, woman, whatever. Relationships, just in general. Typically a woman will, and this is nothing new, but for the youngsters out there, maybe in the page of growing up and learning things, for us old-timer guys, going through the hard knocks of life, of learning things. Yeah, is that me? It sure is. But you end up being Mr. Fix-It. Wife, spouse, friend calls. They've had a lousy day. And they're really looking for you to have an ear to listen to them. That's really what it's more about. You're just kind of wanting somebody to listen to you, vent your frustration. But then what happens is you turn into, well, you should have done this. Or, well, that should have been done this way. That's where it's now you've blown it. The individual That's why women chat all the time, and men too, because they're looking for compassion. Instead of, oh, you should be more like, well, honey, I'm really sorry to hear that you really had a bad day, and that's really bad that they did that. Instead of, well, well, maybe if you would have done this, then maybe that would have happened. And then now they're looking at you like, wait a second, I'm coming home to vent my frustration, and now you're telling me that I'm the person that was the problem? I mean, so no way. So you just, as an individual, if you're smart, you're just going to be more like, yeah, what a bummer. That's too bad that they treated you that way today. And, you start going, well, if you didn't make the mistake. So, anyways, the whole point is, in a relationship, don't be Mr. Fix-It. Be more Mr. or Mrs. Listen. Be more compassionate. And just understand that the person's reaching out to hear their sorrows, where you side with them that, yeah, what they did to you was wrong. But boy, I tell you, that gets heavy and deep, doesn't it? So now, really cool. Here is downstairs. My left hearing aid, I think the damn thing's got issues, but probably go to Costco and see if we can get that fixed. So it's kind of going in and out, where I have great hearing, and my left ear, then I don't have such good hearing. So the great video yesterday. So the Throttle House, I think the YouTube channel, the Throttle House, two like British guys, or at least one British guy. I mean, I think it's a great channel. I love watching these guys. They're really cool. So apparently they got the brand new Ford Mustang Dark Horse, which for the record, I have allocation to get one through my Coons Baltimore Ford. I have one that's on order. And now with the UAW thing going on, how does that play out? Well, whatever. It's not a real big deal. Not an emergency. But after watching that video, it just made me now feel like, wow. That car is so badass, because they did the Dodge Challenger Scat Pack, wide body, 392, jailbreak, shaker brake. It has 15 words attached to the last run Dodge Challenger. And then manual transmission, which I hate those manual transmissions in those 392s. They're slow. I do not like that setup. I hate it. It's such a long shift. I mean, And I know some people, they're motor car guys, like, oh, that thing is so great. My 10-speed automatic will smoke you all day long. It will. So so then they had the Chevy Camaro I'm not a Camaro guy. I'm just not a Camaro guy. But they basically had the same setup Camaro, same, the V8 motor in it, and same, like the Dodge Challenger's like 485 horsepower. I imagine that the non-ZL1 supercharged Camaro is the SS package or whatever it is. I'm sure it's the 460, 480 horsepower manual. And then they had the Ford Mustang Dark Horse, which does have a little bit of an edge because it is the same motor that's in my car down there, the V8 5.0 Coyote motor, but it has 500 horsepower. So my car supposedly has 480 horsepower, and supposedly the Dark Horse was given 20 more horsepower. So it does have a little bit more power. And then also from the Challenger to the Mustang's a little lighter. The Camaro's pretty much there. It's really more, like I've always have said, I think the Camaro and the Mustang are really the head-to-head competitors, because those are the back road track cars. The Challengers are not back road track cars. Yeah, I know you can run the cars around a track. A gazillion people argue on that. It's like, yeah, I know, but it's not designed for what the Mustang and Camaro beat it out in. So, anyways, they did straight line racing, pretty cool. And sincerely, I really thought probably the Challenger would probably maybe take it. No way. So off the line, I guess it was the quarter-mile race, I guess, or whatever it was. Great video. Look it up on the YouTube, YouTubes, and you'll see these three cars going at it. And the good old brand new Dark Horse Mustang manual beats them. And it beats them, not radical, but it beats them. So they do the roll race, and same thing. The Camaro was very close. And and I'm sure some people will say it's advertising, it's Ford money, these guys aren't getting into the cars all the way. I don't know. I mean, what, really? I don't think these guys are operating that. They get their own YouTube channel. They don't have to have these guys cater to them. They have viewers. So great race. But then they took the car around the actual real tracking the car, and that's where the car separated itself from what was known as the last year of the S550 series. I guess it's 22, I think. The Mach 1, the Ford Mustang Mach 1. I talked about it. I had one of these. The Ford Mustang Mach 1 was in so many ways, the GT 350 for the underpinnings of the suspension and characteristics. Just didn't have a Voodoo motor and had less power. But so they showed on how they do this track they go to, and they race all their cars. And the new Mustang Dark Horse Edition beat out that Mustang Mach 1. And they really were surprised. I mean, because they just felt like that Mustang Mach 1 was a little bit lighter car than the newer Mustang. But then the claim is they feel like it's maybe the tires. It wasn't radical difference. Great video. You should watch it. But now here's the challenge. After watching them enjoy that Tremec, see the Tremec Ford transmission, manual transmission, is really the transmission you want in your Mustang. If you're really doing aggressive racing, you don't want that transmission. I think they call it a T-82, and I could be wrong on that, but that isn't the real transmission that's built for really the racing of the car. It just isn't. Apparently, it just eventually just obliterates itself, I guess. I don't know. I'm not racing cars, so I can't honestly tell you. But the Tremec transmission is the option over an automatic in that Dark Horse. And I opted for the automatic. But after watching that video yesterday, I get to thinking, why wouldn't I ride the manual? It's going to be such the fun. It's not going to be a daily car for me. It's not going to be a car I'm going to be riding around. But I love the automatic. But the transmission, that Tremec is such a nice feeling transmission. So here's the point. I called my salesman yesterday, texted him, and I said, can we fix the order? And he's like, what do you mean by that? I'm like, can we change from the automatic to manual? And he's like, I don't know. I'm going to have to look into that. He's like, the car definitely has a scheduled build, but it's an open build. And he claims at the moment, the Mustang factory still is operating on a limited basis because of the parts, challenges. Because the UAW wants to get something fixed, right? So, once again, if you enjoy the muscle cars and you like to see the head-to-head, and you like to see the Chevy versus the Ford versus the Dodge, it's a great video. And the gentleman talk about how this is it. For Ford, you go a year from now, really, I think it's 2 years because Camaro's last run is 2024. But the whole point is the next year for them to have a 2025 runoff between the Dodge Challenger and the Camaro, it won't be. It's over. There won't be 2025. There won't be a 2024 Dodge Challenger, and there won't be a 2025 Chevy Camaro. So, and how does Dodge fix that? Well, they just totally, yesterday I talked about this. I think Dodge is going to have some serious fix-it problems if they don't realize that their customer base is the motorheads that want these ICE vehicles, these rumbling noise between their ears, and just an all-out American muscle power. And do they step back, like I was talking yesterday in the forecast conversations, do these automotive manufacturers start to step back a little bit? And I think they are. And start to realize that the green agenda, the fix-it. See, the green agenda, there's a perfect example of a mentality of a person that's Mr. or Mrs. Fix-It. And if anybody knows these type of people, it's so aggravating. Because when you get into conversations with these people, they always seem to have the answer. They always seem to be very strong-headed they know. And it's very challenging for people, I'm sure, that go to work, have a boss, have other workers around them. Excuse me, it's the old morning time, getting going. It's that attitude mentality that they think they're smarter than you and they're better than you. And who on the hell wants to be around that damn person? Sorry for the interruption and the water's ringing, but I gotta get my water. So, so the point is, Dodge has a challenge, I truly believe, that they need to fix. And that is, they need to be focused on continuing the ICE capability. And I talked about it yesterday and how the new Dodge Daytona, aka Charger replacement, is going to be possibly a hybrid setup. Doesn't, and there's even talk, but I tell you what, it's it's dangerous. You get in these car forums. I've been around it too many years, and somebody starts this conversation, and at the end of the day, it never ever happens. There was so many conversations in the Dodge forums about the Elephant. The Elephant is a 426 crate motor that's 1,000 horsepower setup that was always rumored to be the next badass Hellcat motor. This is going back like 3-4 years ago. This is a motor that was released at the SEMA show, I believe. Maybe I'm wrong on that. But the freaking motor, the motor is sold out like instantly. People couldn't even, if you want to buy it, it's a 426 motor. You're going back to the 70s, 1970 Heritage, 426, badass, all-out race motor built to be put in your Hellcat. It was basically the idea: you swap out your 6.2 motor, you put in this 426 big block motor, and you got a badass race car, the badass than you had. So, yeah, and it can be used in all types of, different applications of vehicles and cars. And once again, that was a small build, and Dodge couldn't build them fast enough, couldn't keep them stock enough. And there's even sad stories that I know of, that people that bought these motors, that took them to shops, that supposedly shop got broken into and the motor was stolen. Oh, yeah. I mean, it gets radical. So for the whole point here is, this is Dodge's customer base. For some reason, Dodge thinks this new Hornet SUV Twitter RAV4 lookalike with a dark package on it and fancy tires and wheels, that this is going to be the people running down the dealership to buy these things in the droves, and they're totally wrong. They're not. They're not going to be. People are not. I don't think people look at the Dodge product being some high-end quality product vehicle. I think it would be like they're junk. You know, so many people comment Dodge, they're junk. You hear that? I hear that all the time. So you really think a person's going to be persuaded to buy the Dodge Hornet SUV over, say, the Toyota 4Runner? I can't see it. Or over the Hyundai Santa Fe, or the Tucson, or whatever, all the different models. I can't see it. So I think what's going to happen is, it's like the forecast conversations. I think that what you're going to see is what the electric vehicle market's seeing. And that is that everybody here knows people don't want them. They're collecting dust. They're a hindrance to the dealerships that need parking for more vehicles, that now have all these electric vehicles sitting in the back lot that they can't get rid of. And now you're seeing on the YouTube channels, all these different videos, and it's all about the doom and gloom. It's over. Yeah, it's incredible how many Mr. Fix-It, even Mrs. Fix-It videos are out there. There really are. All it is anymore on the main YouTube homepage is, it's just incredible on how it's the car industry, it's over. The housing market, it's over. It's always the same theme. And these people get so many hits, so many subscribers, that they're being told every day that the fix-it problem is to listen to me tell you it's over. Okay, whatever. All right, okay, great. So that's the Fix-It channel that you go to, and you're being told that you made a bad mistake to buy a house. You made a bad mistake to buy a car. You maybe made a bad mistake to get married. I don't know. Where's all those channels, right? Yeah, heavy and deep. So anyways, back to the Dodge. I don't know. I would have to say, I mean, anymore, what do you believe? What don't you believe? For me, it would be really cool to see Dodge keep the gas engine going and to have a really cool future Dodge Charger, all-wheel drive, 1,000 horsepower. Would that just be so badass? The Dodge Challenger goes to the CUDA, goes to the CUDA name or something. I mean, come on. And you know as well as I do where we are in today's society. They can keep the monies in order, but there is the challenge. I think more than ever, we are witnessing the fix for the automotive industry may not be fixable. And what I mean by that is that these cars have gotten so expensive, and now we have the UAW that wants to fix what they feel is unequal pay and unequal relations with the bigwigs of these major corporations. It's interesting how the Sean Fain, the UAW thing, it isn't getting the attention because we all know, as I talked about, so many times, is you have to get a war going on in this country, in the world, to just get the media machine to shut the hell up on one frickin' individual we hear every day of our life named Donald Trump on the frickin' media every frickin' day. Jesus Christ, does it drive you nuts or what? I mean, and so we've had to have a major war just to have these journalists have something else to talk about. They got nothing else to talk about. It's ridiculous. I mean, yeah, I would love to talk to these journalists and tell them how to fix their frickin' way they present things. Who wouldn't? They mislead everybody and so much false. I mean, do they? I mean, here's the thing. I'm no different than anybody else here watching videos, TV, reading stuff anymore. It's hard to read content and to come to closure that what you read is really what it really is. So the fix for the UAW is they would like to see that they get compensated better. But that's what I'm saying is the reference here that the automotive industry may not be able to fix the challenges that they put themselves into, being how expensive it is to build cars. I mean, the UAW is pounding their fists to make more money. The big three is very, very concerned that they're going to be one of the highest paid manufacturers in the world on labor, and they're going to be struggling to compete in the world market of the future of selling vehicles. So how are they going to fix that? I mean, surely, how is Ford, General Motors, Stellantis Automotive Group, how are they going to fix the UAW to work through what they feel is more rational? And once again, I'm not here by any means to dictate and promote, oh, you can only make so much money. No, I think what must be spoken about is you just have to realize the job and things that you are field you're in, it's going to be paid, and you have to stay within the realm of what the field and industry are in. So, I mean, I'm kind of surprised that isn't more of the conversation that the UAW president isn't presenting to his members. For you just have to accept it. If you want to be a laborer on an automotive assembly line, yes, we need better this, better that. But at the end of the day, there's only so far you can go when you have to step back and look around. And what is the other parts of the industry doing? And that's where the imbalance starts to play out. And that's where you as a business owner or manufacturing fail. Is because you've priced yourself out of a market because of your labor. And so, once again, I mean, if you're negotiating through all these skills, for me, I'd be like, you guys have to step back. You're doing a job. This is not a job you sign up for to be the millionaire. It's not the job you get. Okay? If that's the job you want, you're in the wrong field. You need to go somewhere else, do something else. Where's that conversation, right? All right. Gonna leave it at that. But hey, the kid, I think I fixed the kid's addictions. Or did I? Or did I just even open up Pandora's box? But you know what? I didn't really talk about this much earlier. I can't emphasize enough on how, it's the car gods, the motorcycle gods, whatever it may be. Sometimes I just get lucky. And it's just really kind of weird how I kind of just got fixated on looking for some dirt bikes. I really want a 690 Enduro KTM. I've always have wanted a 690, I think it's a 690R, 690 Enduro for so many years. I really like the models that were around like 7-8 years ago. But those things were still 8, 9, 10 grand close to 10 years ago. And so these dirt bikes are extremely expensive. That's basically a $10,000 motorcycle without the dealer then putting on the freight and setup and admin fees. So you just add another $1,500 to the bike. You're at 11.5. Some dealers, you're close to $12,000 for that motorcycle. Well, if it wasn't for the rebates and the leftover 23s, there's no way that deal would have gone down yesterday. It would have just been too much money out of pocket. There's no way. I mean, there comes a line for me in life. People watch me buy stuff, but yeah, sure. Yeah, I buy things, but I finance things. So there does come a line eventually. It's like, no way. It makes no sense. So that's why I always thought that the last minute this morning came up with this idea of the fix conversation was I fixed the problem. I was able to get rid of one motorcycle and get another motorcycle. And there the kid now has a really cool bike. And I feel like it's a great investment because these things don't depreciate like anymore. Things hold their value. That motorcycle I bought, that Honda CRFL, that thing was like $5,500. That was like the suggested retail. Yeah, well, they gave me $3,500 yesterday for it. If I wanted to try to sell it my own, I could have, and I could have probably gotten maybe 42, 45 out of it, maybe. But then it goes back to, well, is the motorcycles around? That's my whole point. I so lucked out on getting a last year model. They had 3 yesterday, now they're down to 2, the 150s. Other dealerships around here don't have them because they've already sold out. Most of them have, because you're getting these big $2,000, $3,000 rebates. But the thing is, the 2024 is like $1,100 more. So you have to step back and say, okay, if you want the 24, which is a totally redesigned, different bike, it's all redesigned for 2024 for that KTM motocross line. And some people, well, you should have bought that. Hell no, we're not doing motocross. That thing's perfect for my kid. So the point is that $99.99 bike I bought yesterday, then next year, the 2024 now is basically $11,100 or $10,999. All right, so I got a great deal. And just truly lucked out at the last second, not even really fixated on, per se, me buying my daughter a dirt bike and how that all played out. It's just these things are just crazy. So really good time in JT Motorsports. Great operation up there in Frederick, Maryland. Nobody's watching that like from there, but I'm just giving anybody a heads up in this area. I know the owner personally. I did business with him for many years before he bought that business, which is hard to believe. Now, like 25 years ago. Whew, that's hard to believe. Hard for me to believe I bought a KTM 1997 model that now is what? What is that? Like 26 years ago? 27 years ago? Wow. All right, I'll leave it at that. Hey, everybody, I hope everybody has a great day. And, yeah, do we have serious challenges among us to fix problems? Yep. Been trying to kind of keep the fun factor on my channel and not just to, get too wound up and too wrapped up on what we all know is a huge challenge among us. That who's going to fix that, right? So anyways, have a great day. Have a safe Friday. Yes, safe. Watch your back. Say your prayers. We need a lot of prayers. I mean, oh my gosh, we need prayers. We need leaders. I mean, just the conversation gets way too long. So stay tuned for the weekend adventures. What's that going to be? I don't know. That Indian, I hope I can get that answer in my Indian, because in all sincereness, would I take those 2 Indians and trade them out and sell them for something else? Well, the sad part is Indian needs to buy back that one bike, which I like my idea of getting the Roush. That would be pretty cool, the Roush Slingshot. A lot of people don't want me to get that, but it's just for me to have my time and fun with it and whatever. Who knows? Who the heck knows where it all goes? Anyways, thanks for watching. God bless, stay safe, and have a great Friday.